Alright, what's up guys? So, I'm splitting the tutorial into two parts. This will be the first part. I'm going to have some tips and tricks in here along in the second video as well, repetitive, so you guys hear it. But this one is going to be the videos of me actually removing the old OEM bushings from the car and then installing the new solid subframe bushings in the car. It's going to be the complete video, pretty much how to, front and rear, on the driver's side. If you have any questions, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Savage Camaro, and if you have any other questions, just let me know. Feel free to message me. It's not a big deal. And yeah, so we'll do it together. Alright, so quick rundown. 2-jack method, removal of subframe bushings. Use this jack to brace your diff, like so. Use this jack underneath your solid subframe bushing, not underneath it, somewhere where you can apply pressure where the bushing can drop out. This is your bushing. We're going to put a 1-inch socket after we lower this down between the body and the top of the bushing, basically using the jack as a press. Alright, so here's the front bushing. Here's my 1-inch socket. Place it on top of the bushing, between the body and the bushing. Apply some light pressure. Bushing starts to come out. Bushing is still coming out. It's 2 pumps. Bushing is still coming out, starting to get a little bit tougher. So I'm going to apply some heat with a blowtorch. Alright, so while we're doing this, you're going to see the glue start to ooze top, bottom. Usually it starts out the top right away. If we have enough pressure already applied, the bushing will start to slide out, but we'll pretty much have to jack the jack so the hat is all the way up to the body. It's starting to smoke. There's some glue right there that we're seeing. So when it starts to smoke, basically, is the point when you can start to apply a little bit more pressure with the jack. And there it is. And it just falls out just like that. The front is pretty easy. Alright, so I cleaned out the hole after the subframe bushing dropped. Here is the bottom half of my solid subframe bushing, and then the top half. Remember, this area is still hot, so when you're working in here, be careful. Same as last time, the front subframe bushing was a little bit feisty. A little bit closer. I'm taking my bushing bolt, thread. So I'm gonna jack it up a little bit. Thread it in as much as you can. Obviously you're not gonna get much because I placed my jack a little too far back on the frame rail, so it's kind of in my way here, but looking at the GoPro would be a little bit easier. So you can see the bushing bolt is starting to seat as it should. But you just keep tightening all the way and the bushing will fully seat properly. And then remember, when it's all the way tightened down, if you have any more bushing bolts left, you have to loosen this one and leave the 4 to 5 threads in. Alright, so this is the rear bushing, and I've placed a 1-inch socket on this side and on this side. Make sure it's on the center portion of the bushing here. You have the rubber, so here's the plastic, you have a rubber, then you have a metal right in the middle. You want to try to make sure that that socket, or sockets, if you can get 2 on the rear one, is on the metal part closest to the center of the hole, if that makes sense. And then hopefully you can see my jack placement. There's a little, I don't know what you want to call it, bend or something that comes down here. You piece of 2x4 in your jack and place it there. That's where I got the other side. So I applied a little bit of pressure already. Looks like it's just lifting the car up. Bushing does look like it's coming out a little bit, but I'm going to start using some heat right away. And be back in a second. Alright, so when you're heating this up, you want to try and get around the whole thing. It's kind of harder to get on the inside, but just get as much as you can. I've applied some pressure already here, so once you start to see some smoke and some of the glue ooze out, you might even see some droppage right away. This one is a little bit more time consuming. The front takes all of, once you get everything apart, the front takes all of, you saw it in a matter of, I think I did that in about a minute and a half. With the rear, a little bit more difficult. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Sorry guys, if you just want to skip over this portion and try to find... Starting to see some of the ooze now. I'm going to try and apply a little bit of pressure. This is where having another person for this one would come in handy. Got a little bit of movement. Bushing is actually slightly falling. It's just hard to get in the back here. so try to remember when it falls out, everything is hot. Sockets are hot, hole is hot. Anything around that area is extremely hot. Don't go grabbing for shit. And there it is. Alright, so rear solid subframe bushing. Shit, I have some frozen water particles in there. That's not cool. But bottom half, top half. Lower this a little bit. Might have to kind of pry on this to get it to come down enough. Remember, it's hot. Where is this? That's probably my issue. Alright, bear with me for 1 second, guys. Alright, so I had to take the bolt all the way back out of the front bushing on the same side that I'm working on right now and lower the diff all the way down. Still braced, just lowered as far as I could with the passenger side subframe bushing bolts still in. And there's not a lot of room to work with here, but...
Daddy?
What?
Did you have for sure?
Alright, so this one is being a little bit fussier. Lower the diff a little bit more. There you go. Alright. Make sure we get that back up into place right away. We don't want it sagging. So put a few threads in and start tightening it down.